Have you ever considered what it takes to become the best version of yourself in relationships? It's a question many of us ponder because deep down, we all crave affection, respect, and to be truly valued by those around us. But how do we achieve this? How do we earn genuine admiration, not just for superficial qualities or accomplishments, but for who we truly are at our core? Imagine every relationship as an adventure, and you are the explorer of your own self. You want to uncover the hidden treasures within your soul and share them with others. But to do that, you need a map, a path leading to understanding, connection, and ultimately, love. Today, I'll guide you in discovering your true value in relationships based on 9 ancient Stoic philosophical lessons. These aren't just empty pieces of advice. They're about empowering yourself in ways you may not have imagined. Get ready to shed light on the mysteries of cultivating a life filled with love and meaningful relationships built on mutual respect and inner strength. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Understanding your true worth. How does Stoicism relate to understanding your value in relationships? The Stoics believed in focusing on what we have power over, and guess what? Your self-value is entirely within your grasp. It's not about how many likes you get on social media or if someone shows interest in you. It's about how you see and appreciate yourself. Picture this. Imagine you're a gemstone. Not everyone recognizes the worth of a rare gem, right? Some might walk past without realizing its significance, but that doesn't diminish the gem's value. It remains precious, rare, and one of a kind. That's you. Your value doesn't diminish just because someone overlooks it. We've all experienced rejection and felt inadequate, especially in today's world where everyone appears to be thriving. But here's the real deal. With a Stoic perspective, your value isn't dependent on someone else's validation. It's connected to how you conduct yourself, your principles, and your deeds. Are you compassionate? Are you truthful? Are you living in a manner that aligns with your values? That's where your genuine worth resides. The Stoics believed in reflecting on oneself, so take a moment to consider your qualities, not just the obvious ones, but the deeper aspects. What truly makes you unique? In relationships, it's about finding strength in your own value, your self-worth, whether or not others recognize it. Understanding your worth isn't a one-off event. It's a continuous journey, a practice that evolves over time. It's about waking up every day and acknowledging to yourself that you have value, not because of anyone else's opinion, but because of the inherent qualities that make you who you are. Lesson 2. Present yourself with dignity. Now, before you start picturing a Stoic as this stern, unsmiling figure from ancient times, let me set the record straight. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or being indifferent. It's about understanding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. And guess what? The way you present yourself deserves your energy. So, let's chat about what it means to present yourself with dignity in relationships. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we go to great lengths to impress someone, only to lose sight of who we truly are? We change the way we dress, speak, all in hopes of gaining approval. But here's the key point, and this is where our calm and wise perspective comes in. Your self-respect isn't tied to your clothing style or the trendy spots you frequent. It's about how you present yourself, the things you do, and the decisions you make. Imagine you're in a classroom observing 2 students giving presentations. One student is flashy, using big words and gestures to impress the audience, while the other student is composed and speaks confidently without any pretense. Which student do you think makes a lasting impression? It's often the one who is genuine and comfortable in their own skin, isn't it? This highlights the importance of presenting oneself with dignity. The Stoics, known for their philosophy of self-control and virtue, emphasize the significance of living honestly and respecting oneself. So, How does this apply to dating today? It's straightforward. Be authentically yourself. If you adore diving into books, embrace it. If you have a strong passion for something, let it show. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about feeling at ease and self-assured in who you are, understanding that you are valuable just as you are. And here's another important point. Treating yourself with respect. The way you treat yourself establishes the bar for how others will treat you. If you're always criticizing yourself, you're essentially saying it's all right for others to do the same. However, when you respect yourself, value your time, energy, and emotions, you're making a bold statement. I deserve respect, and I expect to be treated accordingly. Think about what Epictetus, a wise Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In relationships, it's not only about your appearance or words, it's about your responses, your demeanor in various situations. Are you reacting with desperation or dignity? Are you sacrificing your principles to blend in? Or are you staying true to yourself, even if it means standing alone? This doesn't require perfection. We're all human with our flaws and awkward times. What matters is how you deal with those moments. Do you fall apart under pressure? Or do you stay strong, learn, and keep going? Let's take a moment to reflect. How can we begin to show ourselves more dignity? It could involve setting clear boundaries or refusing things that don't match our values. It might also mean treating ourselves with more compassion and respect. When you view yourself as worthy of respect, others will begin to see it too. Lesson 3. The Art of Nonverbal Communication. I understand if this sounds a bit old-fashioned or strict at first, but please hear me out. It's not about being difficult to approach. It's about respecting yourself and recognizing your worth. So what does Stoicism have to say about this? Stoicism teaches us how to control ourselves and stay strong, but not in a strict or boring way. It's about understanding what really matters and not giving it away too easily. In a world where we want things right away and keep scrolling endlessly, Stoicism feels like a breath of fresh air. Let's think about it. In relationships, or when we're getting to know someone, there's often this rush to share everything. Our time, our space, our deepest feelings. But Stoics would suggest taking a step back. Why? Because when something is always available, it loses its specialness. It's just how humans are. If you're always there whenever someone needs you, always saying yes to everything, where's the excitement, the mystery, the anticipation? Let's talk about how to set boundaries gracefully. The Stoic way. Firstly, it starts with your appearance. Dressing stylishly yet modestly isn't just about looks. It sends a message. It communicates. I respect myself. You're not concealing yourself, but you're also not revealing everything up front. It's about finding equilibrium, expressing, there's more to me than what you see. Another crucial aspect is managing your time and focus. In a hyper-connected world, being discerning about who receives your time is a meaningful choice. It's not about playing games. It's about affirming, my time is precious, and I prioritize it thoughtfully. When you're with someone, be fully present and engaged. However, when you're not, it's okay to be unavailable, dedicating your energy to your own life, interests, and personal development. Stoicism also emphasizes emotional self-mastery. It doesn't advocate being cold or disconnected. Instead, it encourages maintaining a balanced perspective. This means not allowing minor things to deeply affect you. It's about preserving inner peace and composure. You don't freely give your emotional energy to everyone. It's something that should be earned, much like how you selectively allocate your time and attention. I'm not implying that you should become unfeeling or distant like a Stoic statue. We are all human, and genuine connections are essential for a fulfilling life. However, there's something special about taking things at a steady pace, about forming connections that aren't solely based on immediate gratification. It's about creating meaningful relationships that have depth and endurance, something that goes beyond instant access and quick fixes. It's important to note that setting limits isn't about playing tricks or controlling situations. It's about respecting yourself and staying true to your principles. It's about demonstrating, not just through words, but also through actions, that you value yourself and deserve to be treated with respect. So here's to being a bit more selective, composed, and stoic in our relationship approach. It's about striking a balance between openness and discernment, between sharing and reserving a bit. And believe me, it greatly influences how others see and treat you. Cheers to valuing ourselves and embracing a touch of stoicism in today's dating scene. Lesson 4. Be ready to walk away. In Stoicism, there's a powerful idea about letting go, not in a distant or uncaring manner, but in understanding what we can change and what we cannot. One of the most empowering actions we can take is deciding whether to stay or walk away from a situation that doesn't align with our well-being. This becomes particularly significant in relationships. We've all experienced this, haven't we? Being in a place where we know we deserve better, yet we choose to stay. It could be the fear of loneliness, the fear of change, or simply holding on to hope for improvement. But here's where Stoicism steps in. Real strength comes from realizing that we have the power to stay or leave situations that go against our principles, and we can opt for a different path. This doesn't imply that you should give up as soon as things get tough. Relationships require effort, understanding, and time. However, it's crucial to understand your self-worth and principles so profoundly that when something fundamentally contradicts them, you're prepared to move on. It's about having that inner resilience, that stoic courage, to affirm, I respect myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. Let's dig deeper into this idea. Being prepared to leave a situation is all about respecting yourself. It means sticking to what you believe in and knowing your own value. It doesn't always have to be a big dramatic exit. Sometimes it's a quiet choice, a peaceful realization that this isn't the right fit for you. Sure, it can be scary. I understand that feeling. The uncertain future can be intimidating. But think about our Stoic pals. They showed us the importance of facing challenges with bravery and accepting life's uncertainties. It's about understanding that sometimes the bravest action is to let go of something that doesn't align with your path. This perspective can transform everything. When you're in a relationship and realize that you're there because it reflects your values, not because you're afraid to leave, it's a game changer. It shifts the whole dynamic. You're not staying out of desperation or fear. You're staying because it's your genuine choice. And here's the key point. When you bravely step away from what doesn't benefit you, you create space for what does. It's like decluttering the past to welcome in the future. It's about having faith that there are better things waiting for you and giving yourself the opportunity to discover them. Let's remember that being prepared to move on isn't about being aloof or uncaring. It's about valuing and caring for ourselves sufficiently to say, I deserve something better. It's about embodying stoicism when challenges arise, understanding that our value isn't dependent on anyone or anything else. Lesson 5. Setting boundaries. Silently. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of actions over mere words. The Stoics advocated for demonstrating rather than just stating beliefs, which is particularly relevant when discussing setting boundaries in relationships. It's one thing to talk about your boundaries, but it's far more impactful to show them through your actions. Consider this. It's easy to declare, I won't accept mistreatment. But the real test is when you encounter such behavior. Will you uphold your boundary, or will you compromise? That's where true strength lies, not in words, but in actions. I understand that this isn't simple. It can be challenging, especially when emotions are in play. However, let's recall the wisdom of the Stoics. We have the power to choose our responses to situations. If someone oversteps a boundary, it's your response that establishes and enforces that boundary, not just your words. Let's imagine a situation where honesty is a core value for you, and someone tells a lie. How you respond in that moment shows how serious you are about your boundaries. Whether you choose to calmly address the issue or decide to step back, your actions demonstrate your commitment to your values. It's not about stirring up trouble. It's about showing self-respect by reacting in a way that aligns with what you believe in. This approach can make a real difference in relationships. When others see that you have clear boundaries and are willing to enforce them, they gain a better understanding of what you will and won't accept. It's about nurturing self-respect and staying committed to it. Let's delve into a fundamental concept with a simple approach. It's not just the significant events that count, but also the everyday moments. How do you react when plans change abruptly, or when someone doesn't value you enough? Do you brush it off, or do you express calmly through words and actions that such behavior is not acceptable? This is where Stoic mindfulness comes into play. It's about paying attention to the here and now and how you respond to it. Are your actions in line with your limits? Are you being authentic to yourself? It's important to be mindful of the little moments, because that's often where your boundaries are truly tested. As we go through our day and interact with others, let's aim to embody a touch of Stoicism in expressing our boundaries. It's not about being stubborn or unyielding. It's about having that inner guide that shapes how we act and respond. And trust me, when you adopt this approach, people take notice. They begin to view you as someone who not only sets boundaries, but also values themselves enough to uphold them. Lesson 6. Actions speak louder than words. Stoicism, as we've been learning, is about using practical wisdom. It means judging people based on what they do, not just what they say. In our world, many people say nice things, but don't follow through. This is especially true in relationships. Stoics advise us to see through the charm and focus on actions instead. Stoics encourage us to pay attention to actions, because actions show what's real. Consider this. It's simple for someone to say everything perfectly, to promise things, to describe a future that seems flawless. But are they actually doing what they say? Are their actions supporting their words? That's where the truth lies. Let's be honest for a moment. Haven't we all experienced this? We meet someone, they say incredible things, and we're enchanted. But as time goes by, their actions don't match their words. They promise to call, but don't. They make plans only to cancel at the last minute. Yet we still hold on to their words. This is when our inner Stoic mindset must take charge. Stoicism reminds us not to be swayed by words or overwhelmed by emotions. It's about being logical and seeing reality clearly. When someone's actions don't match their words, that's a warning sign. It's like the universe saying, "Hey, take notice, something isn't right here." This mindset shifts how you handle relationships. Instead of being swept away by sweet words and commitments, you begin noticing small details. How do they behave under pressure? Do they keep their promises? Are they present for you, not just in words, but in meaningful actions? Here's the fascinating part. When you focus on what people do instead of just what they say, you set a standard. You're telling them, "I'm not just listening to your words, I'm watching your actions." And that really makes an impact. They realize they can't just talk their way into your life. They have to prove they're genuine and worthy of your trust. But keep in mind, this isn't about being negative or doubting everyone. It's about being wise, about safeguarding your feelings with a dose of Stoic insight. It means not letting emotions carry you away, but staying realistic. So let's remember to pay attention to actions, not just words. Let's approach love with a Stoic mindset, being logical, observant, and thoughtful. Because ultimately, actions carry more weight than words. Lesson 7. Cultivating healthy skepticism. Stoicism and reality are closely linked. Stoics believed in understanding situations as they are, not as we wish them to be. This philosophy is particularly useful in love and dating. We've all experienced it, haven't we? When someone says all the right words, we're eager to believe them, even when there are warning signs we choose to overlook. This is where adopting a Stoic mindset can be beneficial. Being appropriately skeptical is akin to possessing a superpower. It doesn't imply being pessimistic or distrustful. Rather, it's about staying realistic and not accepting everything blindly. It involves being observant, asking questions, and not rushing into things without some careful consideration. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone new and they appear fantastic. They're saying all sorts of lovely things, even talking about a future together. But it's only been a short time. Your skeptical Stoic mindset would advise you to take it easy, to wait and see if their actions align with their words, and to observe how things progress. It's like a gentle reality check, urging you not to get swept away in romance and to stay grounded and mindful. This skepticism isn't about bombarding the other person with questions or doubting their every move. Instead, it's about being thoughtful. It means not only listening to what they say, but also observing their actions. It involves taking the time to truly understand someone, to see if they're consistent and genuine. The Stoics emphasized using logic and reason, not just being carried away by emotions. In relationships, this approach is crucial. When emotions dominate, we may overlook important details. But when we combine our feelings with a dose of skepticism and logical thinking, we enable ourselves to see things more clearly. And here's another important aspect. It's about safeguarding your heart. By maintaining a bit of skepticism, you're not rushing into something without certainty. You're allowing yourself the opportunity to grasp the true nature of the other person, rather than projecting your desires onto them. So let's remember the importance of adopting a hint of Stoic skepticism. It's about being intelligent, attentive, and not letting emotions carry us away. It's about protecting ourselves and our emotional well-being. It's not about shutting ourselves off, but about approaching new opportunities with careful consideration and wisdom. Lesson 8. Saying no with confidence. In Stoicism, it's important to stick to your values and have the bravery to stay true to yourself. This is especially relevant when it comes to the power of saying no. Many of us struggle with this simple word because we don't want to disappoint others or face conflict. However, learning to say no is crucial for maintaining your well-being and staying true to your values. Let's consider this. In relationships, we often feel compelled to say yes to things that don't align with our desires or values. We may agree to plans we don't want to attend, or say yes to requests that burden us. But the Stoics teach us the importance of honoring our own boundaries and being courageous enough to say no when necessary. Imagine a scenario where you're asked to do something that you don't have the time or energy for. Instead of saying yes out of obligation or guilt, a Stoic approach would encourage you to assess the situation and respond honestly. Saying no might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's an essential part of maintaining your integrity and self-respect. Saying no confidently isn't about being rude or dismissive. It's about being clear and honest with yourself and others. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and resources are valuable, and that you have the right to decide how to use them. By saying no to things that don't serve you, you make room for opportunities and experiences that truly align with your values. Let's delve deeper into this concept. When you say no, you're not just setting a boundary for yourself, but also teaching others how to respect you. It's a powerful way to communicate your priorities and what matters most to you. And when done with kindness and firmness, it can strengthen your relationships by creating mutual respect and understanding. Furthermore, saying no confidently helps prevent resentment. How often have we said yes to something, only to feel frustrated and overwhelmed later? By being upfront and honest from the start, you avoid these negative emotions and maintain a sense of peace and balance in your life. So let's embrace the power of saying no. Let's remember that it's okay to prioritize our own needs and values. By doing so, we not only honor ourselves, but also cultivate healthier, more respectful relationships. The next time you're faced with a request or situation that doesn't align with your values, take a moment to consider your response. Trust that it's perfectly acceptable to say no, and do so with confidence and grace. Lesson 9. Practicing patience. Stoicism places great importance on patience. The Stoics believed that many things in life are beyond our control, and they emphasize the value of patience and acceptance. This lesson is especially valuable in relationships, where impatience can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. Patience is about understanding that good things take time, and that not everything will happen according to our desired timeline. It's about accepting that people have their own journeys, and that we can't rush them or ourselves. This is crucial in love and dating, where impatience can cause unnecessary stress and strain on relationships. Imagine you're in a new relationship and you're eager for things to progress quickly. You want to define the relationship, meet each other's families, and make future plans. However, your partner may not be on the same page yet. Practicing Stoic patience means allowing the relationship to develop naturally without forcing it. It means understanding that both you and your partner need time to grow and connect. This approach fosters a more relaxed and harmonious relationship. When you practice patience, you let go of the need to control every aspect of the relationship. You allow space for things to unfold naturally, which can lead to deeper connections and understanding. Let's explore how to cultivate patience in relationships. It starts with mindfulness, being present in the moment and appreciating where you are now, rather than constantly looking ahead. It involves accepting that there will be ups and downs and that not everything will go as planned. It's about trusting the process and having faith that things will work out in the end. Patience also means giving yourself and your partner the grace to make mistakes and learn from them. No one is perfect, and expecting perfection can lead to disappointment. By being patient, you allow room for growth and improvement, which strengthens the relationship over time. Finally, remember that patience is a form of self-care. When you're patient, you're less stressed and more at peace. You're not constantly pushing against the current, but instead, you're flowing with it. This mindset not only benefits your relationships, but also enhances your overall well-being. So let's embrace Stoic patience in our relationships. Let's understand that good things take time, and that patience is a virtue that leads to deeper connections and greater harmony. The next time you feel impatient, take a deep breath. Remind yourself of the value of patience, and allow things to unfold in their own time. So let's embrace the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control. Let's shift our energy from trying to control external events to managing our own thoughts and actions. By doing so, we create a more harmonious and empowering dynamic in our relationships, leading to greater fulfillment and peace.